Hello and welcome to another Let's Play of Eldfall Chronicles. As you can see, this is only partially the COalation of THenion I promised last week, because I didn't manage to finish all the models I wanted to use. Therefore you get a little teaser with the Slayer Dragoon I finished, a mounted version as well as the footed one. Also, a completely new model I never used before in this campaign, or general in my plays, is the Onitashi, another model from the Empire of Soga. And model you are quite familiar with is the Taskmage Explorer. And this party, as you can see here, is the Slayer Dragoon with her mount, so we will be experimenting a little bit with the mounted rules. The Taskmage Explorer, who has once again the first aid kit and the MacGuffin to secure the artifact later in the campaign. And we have an Onitashi without any upgrades. As you can see here, once again we have the village of Kara, and as you might assume by the position of the two gargoyles, I will be positioning the party somewhere around this edge. But yeah, with the party set explained, I will prepare the first turn of the party and I'll let you join then. Starting with the first turn of the neutrals, I pre-measured 2 inches from the Earth Elemental because the Slayer Dragoon will activate first and she will move up to here where the dice is to be right in the central of battlefield. And as I mentioned previously, I want to experiment a little bit, so the Slayer Dragoon's weapon has 2 inches of reach, which is within the Earth Elementals area. And so she will use her dash action, so a special run action, where she's allowed to make a strike 1 attack with one of her weapons. Afterwards, the Earth Elemental will react, since it is started off a melee attack without 1 inch. It will use a dodge action to move towards the attacker. So let's just see. Starting with the Earth Elemental, it makes a dodge attempt. It's at 12, which is above the agility of 6. And now the Slayer Dragoon, who has an offense of 17, with a roll of 5, she's definitely hitting the Earth Elemental. And the Slayer Dragoon is an assassin from the class, so she would normally crit on a 1, 2, or 3. But with this, the Earth Elemental is hit, but not critically. So the Slayer Dragoon, let's have a look, because this will be quite a calculation. Her Slayer's Lance has power of toughness plus 3. I can't get it into focus, so please guys believe me. Her toughness is 12. Therefore 15. Since she's mounted, the mount adds plus 2. We are at 15, 17, 16, 17. And she has the Assassination 1 ability, which is aimed for the White Hills, which adds another plus 6. So 12, 14, 17 plus 6, 23. She has 2-handed, unwieldy cleave, and knockback 1. So with this, 23 minus the armor of 10 from the Earth Elemental, 13 or less to wound the Earth Elemental, and it's an 14, which is not enough to wound the Earth Elemental, but a strong first impression in my cards. And now, as we just saw, we have the knockback 1, and the mount has a size of huge, which is just 1 size smaller than the gigantic of the Earth Elemental. Therefore, this means that the Earth Elemental, for the first time in this Let's Play series, is actually pushed 1 inch. So, and with this, the Slayer Dragoon, or actually the Earth Elemental would have dodged into contact and now is pushed 1 inch away. So it should be somewhere around here. And 1 inch away, which means that both of these get the engaged status. And now next, the Slayer Dragoon will stay where she is and once again activate and attack the Earth Elemental. Her slash lance has a strike value of 1, and the Earth Elemental, since it is in its reactive role, also has a strike value of 1. Starting with the Earth Elemental, since it is within 1 inch, it uses its normal Earthen Fists and a defense of 14. With a 3, the Earth Elemental sets the bar. The Slayer Dragoon, 17 or less, it's 14, and this is above the 3 of the Earth Elemental. Therefore, once again, the Slayer Dragoon is hitting the Earth Elemental. And once again, a 13 or less to wound. This time, it is a 13. And since, let me just get the card. The Slayer Dragoon's weapon has the cleave rule, here it is. If an immortal suffers a wound with this trait, it automatically suffers another wound. Berserkers can perform a toughness roll for each wound they would suffer. Therefore, instead of just 1 wound, the Slayer Dragoon immediately put 2 wounds onto the Earth Elemental and pushes it another inch away, more or less. So that is a little bit more than 2 inches away, cancelling her own engage state. And since she has the hit and run ability, because of her Lupus Rex mount, she would be allowed to make a normal walk action during the resolution phase. I'm thinking if I want to do that, because then the Earth Elemental would be able to hurl. No, she stay where she is, because this way the Earth Elemental is in the engage state and unable to use its range attack with the hurl trait. Next, the Onitashi will activate. The Onitashi will activate. She has a movement characteristic of 5, I think. Let me just have a look at it. It's a speed of 6 even. Good thing that I looked it up. And she will perform a run action. And this is just to get in most likely or hopefully into contact. So she's able to walk to get next to the Slayer Dragoon. And now the Onitashi, once again I have to look it up. You realize or you see that I did not use this model before. Her greatsword has a reach of 2 inches and a sweep 1. Therefore, she will hit all models with her attack that are in her front arc of 180. So, bleed and two-handed means that she can combine it with another weapon or with a shield. And bleed will be not relevant because the construct trait and the elemental trait of the gargoyle, respectively, of the Earth Elemental will negate this. But with this, the Onitashi also has the taunt skill. And the taunt skill says that when this model performs a movement, it may force enemies modeled in line of sight with this model or within its awareness to perform interval that fails needs to declare a reaction. I want to do that for the 2 gargoyles. The gargoyles have an int of 8. So it's a natural 1 for the first one. I assume it is this one. And the second one has an 3. Both have succeeded, so they don't have to perform a reaction. And now the Onitashi will spend her second activation and perform a walk action to get into 2 inches of these 2. So getting up here. This gargoyle will be, and the Earth Elemental, both will be within the within the 2-inch arc of her broadsword. And she will use an attack against the gargoyle, because the gargoyle has the lower defense value and the gargoyle is allowed to react. And it will, since it is outside of the 1-inch reach, it will react by using a dodge action. And the Earth Elemental is also target of an attack outside of the 1-inch reach. Therefore, it will also spend another dodge action. So, beginning with the Earth Elemental rolls a 15 therefore it will not dodge. And the Gargoyle has an agility of 8 within 14. It will also not dodge. So, starting with the Onitashi. Normally, the Great Sword has a strike value of stamina -1, therefore it would be 1. But she has the Arms Master, which grants her another attack, and I can choose one of her fencing abilities, and I will use Second Wind, which will give her a third attack. So in total, the Onitashi has 3 attacks. She has advantage against large and huge creatures. Sadly, the Earth Elemental is a gigantic, therefore no advantage. With this, the Onitashi has an offense of 16, 6, 9, and 4. All 3 are hits. She has a toughness of 3, and the power is toughness +2. Therefore, she has a total power of 15. Sorry, it's early in the morning, I'm still a little bit slow. And 15 minus 8 and minus 5 for the Gargoyle means a 10 or less with 3 hits. So, 2, 8, and 11. 2 wounds. This Gargoyle is obliterated immediately. And next, the 3 hits for the Earth Elemental, which has an armor of 10. So therefore 5 or less to wound. It's a 1, it's a 5, and it's a 4. With this 3 sweep, which is quite a lucky roll, to confess, the Earth Elemental gets 3 another wounds, and also is immediately destroyed before it can even do any harm. So, the Earth Elemental is destroyed too. This might be a really fast game. Now, the Taskmage Explorer will activate. She will use also a run action to get 5 inches up to here, and another 5 inches to get up to here. And then she will use her second activation to cast her Mana Blast, which are 2 attacks, 14 or less, 6 and 12. Come on, get into focus. 6 and 12, both are hitting. And now 9 or less to wound the Gargoyle. It's a 6 and a 16. Since the Gargoyle only has 1 wound, it is destroyed too. So, what have we learned in the first turn? The Slayer Dragoon and the Onitashi are a deadly combination against Earth Elementals, even without the advantage trait. But they both are really damage dealing pieces. And in the case of the Onitashi, she also could be able to use Finishing Strike, which means when this middle causes 1 wound or one or more wounds to a target, it may immediately make an unmodified strike 1 attack against the same target. It must be the same item or skill if there are more targets chosen by only 1. So therefore, even if the Onitashi only had wounded the Earth Elemental, she still would have the chance with Finishing Strike to end the Earth Elemental once and for all. So, first turn, the table is clear, no hostile action. Let me just give the neutrals their token back, and I'll see you in the second turn. Second turn of the neutrals, and before I started the turn, I just read up on the attack action. You don't have to declare target at the beginning of your announcing your action. So, the Slayer Dragoon will activate first. She will perform a walk action right into the building to roll a die, see if she finds the entrance. It's a 3. A 3 means that a golem immediately engages the model that walked in. Let me just grab my golem token. This house is getting quite stuffed. So, and since the Slayer Dragoon declared an attack action, she's allowed to do immediately an attack against the golem, who as usually comes in after the upkeep phase, therefore has no activation points. So the Slayer Dragoon, 17 or less. It's a roll of 9. Therefore, she hits the golem. Once again, 23 is her power. The golem has an armor of 8, therefore 15 or less to wound the golem. It's a 19, it is not enough, but she's able to push the golem out of up to 1 inch. I will just push him right here because it's easier. So the golem still has the engaged state, the Slayer Dragoon not. And before I do anything else, let me just spend her second activation token and let her perform another attack with her Slayer Lance. Once again, 17 or less. It's at 10. Once again, 15 or less. It's a 14. And since this weapon also still has the cleave ability, the golem gets another 2 wounds. It will stay there, but the Slayer Dragoon actually will use in the resolution race the walk action to get out of contact. Because now the Onitashi will spend her activation 2 inches there, 4 inches there, to get within reach of her greatsword. And once again, a total of 3 attacks as calculated previously. She has an offense of 16, 16, 4, and 13. Yep. And now she still has a power of 15, minus 8, 7 or less to wound, 5, 2, and a 12. 2 other wounds on the golem, which only has 3 hit points. Sorry, already has 2 wounds. That's what I wanted to say previously. And with this, the golem is destroyed. In her next activation, the Onitashi repositions right here, and the Taskmaster Explorer keeps it simple and also just repositions. I will not stop the recording because this will be basically in the neutral's third turn. They will start to explore with the same tactic the next building. The Slayer Dragoon declares an attack action, walks into that building. We are rolling to see what they will find. It's an 4, and with the 4 they have find the passage beneath the building. So with this, the Onitashi performs a run and also the Taskmaster Explorer, and all 3 models enter the tunnels beneath Kara Village. So let me clean up and get into the after action report. Okay, after action report. What did we learn in today's game? First of all, beginning with the Slayer Dragoon, I think that she was the star of the game, putting pressure immediately onto the Earth Elemental, avoiding that the Earth Elemental was able to attack. And with her offense of 17 and her Slayer Lance, which has the cleave ability, and a knockback, which actually could be used to reposition the Earth Elemental, she was, I think, key to this fast game. Next, the Onitashi. I think that the Onitashi is also a great piece for offense, especially with her finishing strike, which we didn't saw. But her ability to make from her two-handed sword, her broadsword, which originally only had 1 attack, in combination with Arms Master and with her Fencing 3 skill, 3 attacks and the Sweep 1 rule, is really amazing. Is really amazing. And for 21 points or 22 points for the Mounted Slayer Dragoon respectively, these are 43 points, and you have 2 models which can quite pack a punch. We didn't get too much into the mounted rule because it wasn't necessary, but it would have given the Slayer Dragoon an additional life, which would be reduced first. If she dismounts, she would still have her normal 2 hit points. And the Slayer Dragoon herself has normally an armor of 5, if she's mounted only of 3. And her defense of 8 is also nothing to look over, because this means that the Slayer Dragoon mounted is really a glass cannon and can lose hit points quite fast, which is why it is important with her to strike first, strike hard, and use the hit and retreat tactics to get out of harm's way with a movement of 9 from the mount, or 6 normally. This is, I think, quite possible. The Onitashi, on the other hand, has an armor of 6 and has 2 hit points, as it is most common for Empire of Soga. And yeah, she has also only a defense value of 10, a little bit better than the Slayer Dragoon. Also, the mount adds +3, I think, to the defense when she's mounted, so defense 11, but defense 11 and defense 10 is not so good as the offense of 16 or respectively 17. Therefore, last one, the Taskmage Explorer. Before I get to the last one sentence I just wanted to start. The Taskmage Explorer was just here for the vibes, I would say. She was the medic and she didn't have to do anything because the Onitashi and the Slayer Dragoon just obliterated any opposition. Maybe she will be useful or necessary in the next game. I think I will continue with the neutrals. Yeah, and we will see how they will perform then. But what I just wanted to say, I think that this combination or this party is really out to seek and destroy. Focusing these two on one target, I'm pretty sure that they will obliterate it. I'm tempted to attack the Colossus in the next game, but I will think about it, and since this is a campaign, it is more meaningful to play it safe and use the usual tactic and let the Taskmage Explorer just walk around the Colossus and get the artifact. But I just realized that this time I do not have the hasten spell from the Pharaoh's Outrider, and with her walk of 5 she might come short to actually get there, but we will see that in the next game. Until then, have fun gaming and goodbye.